put some music on in the background, and we just cover the barking with like background waves.
Well, right now we're recording.
Oh, we're recording?
So we'll.
Are we recording now?
You're standing on your phone cord.
Oh, okay. We're recording. Good.
Are we on?
I guess we're on.
Great.
We're on. This is good.
So,
Yeah.
who are you?
Hi, I'm Eddy Willman, and it's great to be here in Southern California because we live in Colorado. Actually, right now we live all over the place, which is really pretty cool. Good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, good.
Great. My name is Willman Morcillo, and who am I? I'm many things. In this case, I'm a musician, a songwriter, guitar player.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So, first question: how did you two meet?
You know, it was 20 years ago. 20 years in a lifetime is a long time. So, landmark education is a thing called a wisdom course. It's personal development work, and we met in there, and in the middle of our personal growth, music became part of the journey, you know, which was pretty darn cool, you know. So it was his girlfriend that recommended us.
Yes.
That's what I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she found out that you were a musician and that we should talk.
Yeah, yeah, I think it took her a while. I think she was, my remembrance of it was she was a little bit more direct with me. What's wrong with you guys? How come you're not playing? It was one of those. I was like, what do you mean? You guys are musicians. You haven't talked music at all? And I was like, well, I don't know. And that's how I remember it though. It was like, I was being scolded.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was being scolded like, okay, then I'll approach the guy, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He seemed friendly enough, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any recollection.
Okay. So, next question: what was it about each other that had you decide to create music together? Besides the girlfriend.
Besides the girlfriend? I think we had some common ideas. I mean, I think being in Landmark certainly helps because you have a background of wanting to be a better human being and contribute to the planet, and just a lot of ideology that you would accept or expect to share with somebody else. So I think that background, you know, gave us a bigger opportunity in a window to come together.
You know, now I'm thinking about this, it was like, though we both had, every musician who plays a guitar has this blues rock background, but we both had interests in other types of music, and we were like throwing it into a pot. It was like this stew. And let's see, you were really interested in Latin music and your roots, and you like metal. I always told people, yeah, the guy likes Latin and Led Zeppelin. I said, you know, that's strange. And here I was, I like blues rock, but I like pop sensibilities, and I was really diving into jazz. So it was like kind of like, let's see, and I love jam bands. So the two of us got together, and it kind of like we both allowed ourselves the freedom to explore both sides. Remember, there was like no judgment. It was like, that was great. It was a lot of, that was great. That was great. Do more of that. That was awesome. There was a lot of that. And it shows up on that album.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of appreciation for, I think, a love of music.
Yeah.
And then, like obviously a freedom to just be the artist that, you know, that you want to be and can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's, which song, what is it, where it changes a lot, where you had Sanji on there and Scorpion King. Yeah, that one, I think, really describes what you guys are talking about. What a mix of...
So yeah, it's a journey. We lived in Lawndale, California, Madeline and myself, and this is what I mean, but we were both open ideas. This woman lived across the street who was a recording star in India, and said, why don't we include her on this thing that was kind of like Latin based? So the first part of this thing is sitar music and her singing a song about some sailor she left out in the ocean or whatever it was. And I'm thinking, this won't work, and it works really, really well.
Yeah, definitely. What I remember about the song is that it was Yeah, it was about the Scorpion King, and when her singing about trying to find somebody out or a lost love or
That was
whatever it
it,
was, it sort of came together like the Scorpion King could be the lost lover of this Indian woman, and then the Scorpion King sort of traveled through different countries on his journey, and I remember the last part of it was a little bit like he had just landed here from another planet. So the last few notes that Eddie played were like he was getting back on his spaceship and he was going back to wherever he came from.
That's right. It was it's an epic journey, that song. You know,
Yeah.
so the other songs are, all the pieces on the album I think are engaging.
Yeah.
That one comes out of outer space. You know, so it's like yeah, it really does. It's a classic.
It's a cool song. It really is. Yeah. So, what were your challenges back in those days?
Boy, I think for me, we were so open to it. I don't remember a lot of challenges.
In terms of working together or just life?
Working together. Well, and life could have been included in that too.
Yeah.
Well,
Working
I mean,
together.
personally, I didn't like myself very much. I didn't really think I mattered all that much. So I didn't think that if there was ever, I always thought that if there was ever a problem, people would eventually leave me anyway. And then, so if I left, I didn't think it mattered that I was gone because they were going to leave me eventually. So I think that affected my ability to communicate, you know, any concerns that I might have had. And at the time I was growing, well, I was trying to grow as a Latin artist, as a Latin guitar player, like a rumba flamenco style. And Eddie was really into the blues rock thing, and I realized that I had to get away from that. But I didn't know how to communicate that without saying, you shouldn't do that right now, you know? And I think it became a problem in the sense that I was uncomfortable with the idea of us growing in two different fields, you know, and I didn't realize that was possible. And you don't when you don't know that you can make something happen for yourself independent of somebody else. And I didn't have that certainty back then, so I think that was a problem for me. Not so much Eddie.
Yeah, you know, for me now, because we were talking about this before, which I think is interesting, I had gotten burned by so many musical situations. This happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. That I almost completely said, forget it, I'm gonna be an accountant. I was never gonna be an accountant, right? You know, I was gonna be a music teacher or something. I was like, no, please, bands, musicians. So I think for me, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It was like, okay,
There it is.
this is gonna happen. There it is. There it is. I knew this was gonna happen. You know, that's one of those, she's gonna leave me. I know this is gonna happen.
Right.
You know, and it was, I recovered from that just fine. But I mean, it's like, you know, it was like, yeah, okay, it's another sad story to tell. See this? Yeah, but it's like, that was what was supposed to happen when it happened.
Right.
Because I'll tell you, both of us have become much better musicians, and it's all in the listening. I mean, you could talk about the technical things. This guy was working on his right hand doing the flamenco style, and I remember in the beginning he was like, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this. So being with him right now, watching him the last day or so, it's like it's blazing, you know, and it's just so great because then he's playing metal songs. He's back to go, you know, so it's like it's really kind of great to see that you've had it both ways, you know, which is really kind of neat because you were a rock guitarist and now you have this palette to work from, you know, which is,
nice.
and me too, you know, because I dove into jazz at one point.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a jazz player. And
Now
there
you are.
go. Now I am. Yeah, right.
That's right. That's good to see too.
Yes.
That's cool. And just so you know, this battery is now telling me it might go bad. So
Okay.
I'll just keep going until it dies.
Sure.
And then, so we might have a second part to this recording.
Okay.
So what reignited you guys? You know, there was a long break and you guys were off doing your thing. What had you guys come back and get reignited and revisit this album?
We both had people, I don't know, I had a friend whose daughter listened to the album and was telling me, what's wrong with you? You should be doing this. I had other people come out of the woodwork and say, how come you never finished this? And at this point I was like, almost like I was open to it, because we were fine, we were cordial with each other. It wasn't like there was like,
You were friends, yeah.
Yeah. We hadn't seen each other in a while, but it wasn't like, I'm not gonna talk to Willman, you know, this type of thing.
Yeah.
And I just had people reminding me, and I think, yeah, for me that was like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. It's like, it's incomplete, you know, what can we do? Because it's really a great album.
For me, I'd done this little experiment where I took all of the recordings that I had and I'd stick them into playlists, like of my favorite artists or a world music playlist, and I would just hit shuffle. And I felt that any time that any of the work that we did popped up, you know, like next to Carlos Santana or Maná or the Gypsy Kings, I felt that it was comparable in terms of quality. Maybe the production wasn't there just because of the budgets that those bands have, but in the songwriting and the musicianship was comparable. And I just thought, what the hell, man, that's good, you know? Because I could have been unpleasantly surprised too, like, you know, throw my song in there and it's like, hey, that's awful.
That was
I didn't have that experience, you know. I had the experience of like, wow, music is great, this is good stuff. So I was able to appreciate it from a different perspective, and also being removed from it for a while, just to hear it as a consumer. I wasn't listening to it as a songwriter of it, it was just a consumer. And then I got back in touch with Donna, and then we had connected on Facebook briefly, and then Donna and I became better and better friends. And then she said, no, it's pretty good, man, it's pretty special. And then I had other people telling me it was really special too. So, and then I just thought, okay, well, let's give it a shot, you know, see what we can do with it.
Yeah, I want to tell you, Donna calls me and says, when's the last time you listened to the album? I said, I don't know, a while ago. She said, do you have it? I said, yeah. Now, mind you, it was a CD. There were no uploads and downloads. Good luck finding a CD player, right? So the only CD player, and we live in Colorado, was in the car, in the Fiat, which could only a Fiat could fit in the garage, was in the garage. I had to go out to the garage in the middle of winter. And I decided, okay, this is gonna sound dated. That was my thing. It's not gonna sound good. Right. And I listened to the first cut and I go, that's pretty special. That sounds really great. And then the second cut comes on and I go, wow, this is really, really great. and it's how I felt through the whole album, going, what the hell were we thinking? You know, and I'm listening to it and I'm going, you know, not at the 11th hour, you know, we have some work to do to bring it up to 2021 standards. However, the bones are there for something mighty special. By the way, it's been such a joy seeing this guy again. You know, it brings tears to my eyes just seeing him. You know, really, it's really great because it's you know, it's you know, you can't go home again. You know, I gotta tell you, it's like really great to see that.
It is. You guys will make me cry.
Good, I'll make you cry. Right?
So here's the big question: what's next? What do you guys see for the future?
Well, at this point I'm very pragmatic about things. I've done a lot actually. As I think one of the biggest differences between when we met and now is that at the time I wanted to be a professional musician, and I've become that in the last 20 years. You know, I've actually made a good portion of my living as a performing artist, mostly with my own music, and so that actually changes my perspective of what to do. Also, you know, I'm a little bit older. I don't have any illusions about somebody finding me and throwing millions of dollars at me and selling a lot of t-shirts to teeny boppers. So, but I've learned a lot from people in the music industry that I've been fortunate to work with. And I've worked with some people and been fortunate to be next to people that have been at the top of the chain. And some of the coaching I got was
Hold on. I think our recording has stopped.
Do you have another battery somewhere?
Yeah, I do.
Can you put it in there?
Yeah. So just hang on. I'm going to
I'm
ask
gonna
that
say some
question.
good shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Very important. You
Hang
screwed
on.
up now.
Well, this one's still going.